The Bring a Trailer Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bring a Trailer Podcast. Alex Porter, once again coming to you from Bring a Trailer headquarters in San Francisco, and once again joined by Beck and Tyler. Hey, gents.
Hello, Alex. I don't think we've actually moved. We've sat here for an entire week straight.
Same headsets as last time.
That's right. I did put mine on backwards, though. I was trying to figure out why, Beck was talking in my right ear and Alex was in my left ear. And now I've got it figured out. But it's good to be back and hanging out with you guys again.
Always a pleasure. I re-listened to our Thanksgiving episode. I was chuckling. Did either of you guys listen to it?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. It was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
I have not listened to it. I find the more of these I do, the harder it is to listen. I don't know if you've experienced that at all.
I'm like, Alex, shut up.
Yeah.
I just talk over everybody all the time.
I keep telling myself to slow down. God, I get too excited.
Yeah.
Just keep talking.
I do too.
I did, however, watch the Bill Paxton Corvette scene.
Nice.
Oh, good.
From
It's fantastic,
From
isn't
True
it?
Lies. It is incredible.
He was a gem.
What period correct language
Totally
was being used?
He was also just such an incredible actor because he could do like serious drama. I mean, he's so good in Apollo 13. And think about how different that character is in True Lies.
Twister.
Yeah, I was going to say Twister.
Is
Yeah.
a great one for
Twister's he didn't do enough of those where he was like the leading man because I think he was really good at it. How can you hate Bill Paxton?
No,
Aliens. I mean, he did
yes.
so many things.
Exactly.
He was great in Aliens.
Yes. And he plays a similar character in, the Tom Cruise Groundhog Day movie, which is so good with Emily Blunt.
Something about tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, okay,
And he
yeah.
plays the kind of jerk sergeant in that he wakes up to every morning, and
I was
he's so
thinking
good in that.
Vanilla Sky. I feel like Vanilla Sky
That's
had
also similar.
a similar maybe description.
Slightly more.
Great cars in Vanilla Sky, by the way, too.
Yes.
That's another story.
That
Another
is.
story.
Add
That
to the
is.
car movie list.
Yeah, that's not coming right up. I already teased Fast and Furious, which hasn't happened yet. We've been having a hard time circling up the team for it, but next week,
Keep teasing.
hopefully. You know what, Beck? It's another excuse to watch it again because I've watched it twice already.
I don't need to watch it. I've seen it. I mean, I have seen it, 30, 40 times at this point. It's nonstop. I can probably quote the entire thing.
I'm probably ready to go too. Race Wars. I can't wait to get to the
Race
Race Wars
Wars.
discussion.
I think just real quick, my favorite thing so far is the difference between the 355 and the Supra.
Oh, totally.
That's just the only thing I will say. And then we'll move on.
We got to save it. We got to save it for that pod. But the values of those cars have had an interesting history since that movie came out. One thing that we did talk about, the reason I mentioned listening to it is we talked a lot about our Thanksgiving plans and how we were going to booze it. So how did that go for you guys?
Good.
How was the nog?
The nog was great. I had my limit at 2. Otherwise, you just have to sit down and stop moving.
And your dad didn't poison everyone?
Didn't poison everyone. He definitely overserved everyone. We had our darts competition, which eventually devolved into my son throwing darts at the wall and not hitting the board. So just poking.
Did
holes
any
everywhere.
people get hit?
No people got hit. I'm trying to think about it. Yes, no one
That you know about.
No one got hit. And no one made it into the garage to poke fun at the 914 that's been sitting there for.
Well, we'll get to it when we talk about cars on the site, but I've been thinking 914s a lot, and we have a very good 914
We have a
6.
phenomenal
Yeah.
914.6. That was top of my watch list right now.
Yes. How about you, Tyler? Was your dinner early dinner? No, you got a medium dinner date
Medium.
for the wife. And
Yeah, it was at 2:00. The only meal of the day that's needed. Lovely bottle of Trefethen Cab. And yeah, I actually we were talking about alternative meats for Thanksgiving last time. And, there was a prime rib on the menu and I had to do it.
good for you.
I did prime rib instead of turkey. I don't know if I'm
Prime
happy
rib
with
is
that decision.
prime rib
but
is pretty festive, though. I would say
it
that's a
is
festive meat.
right?
It's very American. So
Beck,
Well, I like that.
Beck doesn't think it's a festive meat.
I would say it's a festive meat. You got the roast.
I
the
only
infamous
have
roast.
it when it's like a special occasion. It's like House of Prime Rib or
Correct,
something.
yes.
I very rarely have it. And to your point, Tyler, you don't see it that often.
No. Yeah, maybe it takes 15 hours to make or something. You got to smoke it. You got to prep it. No, I don't know. My wife got the turkey and I was kind of a little jealous that I didn't just get the turkey.
You eat a little,
looked
you eat a
awfully
little off
good.
her plate.
No, she did not let me do that, unfortunately. She
That
pulled
way.
her plate further away from me, actually.
Oh, she's like, you've made a decision and now you
That's
must.
right.
Oh,
accept.
my situation is the exact opposite. Like whatever I order, I have to expect that some of it's going to disappear onto my wife's plate.
Interesting.
I think it actually did go that way, to be honest
Right.
with you.
Yeah, sure.
I think it went that way,
Correct.
but not
Roast
the
beef
other way.
Correct. Yes.
Fascinating. Fascinating. You said you did a lot of motorcycle maintenance as well?
Oh, man. I mean, 4-day weekend. It's hard to not be in the garage and finally getting some things done. There's those projects that you just can't pick up the following weekend. You just need like 2-3 days in a row to really do them. I'm doing some big projects on my CBX and on my VFR right now. I had the carburetors off of both of them, and the carburetors are now back on.
Is that 10 carburetors in total?
Yeah, it is. With 2 different configurations.
Oh, man. I thought the 4 on the car I drove back was a lot. 10 carbs, dude.
Yeah, 10 total carbs. And the fun thing is, between 1982 and 1986, you can see that Honda had realized how difficult some of this was, and it was considerably, like the throttle cables were in a really accessible position on the VFR, and they're totally inaccessible on the CBX. You have to remove the carburetors just to replace one of the throttle cables. I mean, it's not fun. Which requires leaning the engine forward. I mean, it's a whole, you almost have to remove the engine to get to the carburetors, to get to the throttle cable.
And are you readjusting, like all the synchronizing the carbs together when you put them back on?
I did a bench sync, but no, I haven't used, I do have a gauge that will sync 6 carburetors. It's a really neat digital gauge that I found that I got.
Crazy.
I can't wait to do that. But I haven't had it running quite because I need to replace the throttle cables.
Is that because the carbs are on the back of the motor, right? So they're like under the tank?
They're under the tank, under the frame, above the transmission, behind the motor, in front of the airbox, obviously. So there's no access to them at all.
But then the exhaust comes out the other side and it looks so sick. Those 6 exhaust pipes out the front.
I mean, that's kind of like...
You got to pay the cost to be the boss. You know? Yeah, I mean, that's right.
The CB900 is probably a much better motorcycle with 4 cylinders, but that's just not fun.
The other bike is a V4 though, right?
So
the
VFR is a V4.
Where are they all on the inside of the V?
They are, God, there might be some cars that have this kind of configuration. They're at like a 45-degree angle, and there's a plenum on top of them, and you remove it all as a unit.
Oh, okay.
So the carburetors are in
but it's
the V.
in the middle of the V. Yeah, okay.
And each one is kind of facing the other direction.
Oh, they crisscross?
Yeah, they crisscross.
Interesting.
Yeah,
wow. But it's one... You said plenum. Plenum? How do we say that?
I heard plenum, and I was thinking, man.
Have I been saying it wrong the whole time?
No, I'm assuming I've been saying it wrong.
Is that related to plinth? Like a plinth? Like a thing a statue
I don't even
sits
know
on?
what that is.
This is an interesting concept, though. I've experienced this on like my first week of working to bring a trailer. You know, I had spent all my life reading the words car parts.
Yeah, we work on the internet.
But never saying it to another human being.
Guibo? How do you say?
Oh, God. And I went to, I'm going to apologize to Chris Baxter here. He might have to edit this out. But I went up to Zach at one point and said that, is that a listing for fucks wheels?
Yeah. Yeah.
And had to realize like, and then in the moment I get corrected and realize my entire life.
Yes.
I've been saying this wrong.
I always said Fuchs. Sure. And Randy corrected.
That's what I say. What is
Fuchs.
it?
Fuchs. I always said rough, and now I know it's roof.
Sure.
I knew that one.
Yeah.
That one I knew.
Randy corrected me on a lot of the German stuff. I always said Recaro. Recaro.
Sure.
And there was another one that I used to get in trouble for too.
Well, that's a tough one because Recaro is, I forget what the technical term of it is. It's worded itself as an amalgamation of other words. It's because it's part of the Reuter cartosserie, the body maker originally.
Okay.
And when Porsche bought,
it's an acronym.
It's not an acronym. It's when you push words together, like the first.
Like a portmanteau.
There it is. Yes.
Yeah.
So when Porsche bought the Reuter body maker company, they didn't want the interior division. They allowed that to be separate.
Oh, I never knew. So I didn't even know any of this.
When they had Reuter bodies, right? All of the bodies were made by different.
Reuter is what I always said.
I call that.
But
Reuter.
is it Reuter? Is that you might be right? That sounds more German.
That sounds more German.
You would pronounce the second vowel.
But is the news organization also German? Reuters.
I don't know. It's actually British, I believe.
Okay.
So then it might be Reuters.
Well, I mean, then it's German, right? It's German.
Somebody listening knows all this. We just sound like morons.
Screaming at their car.
Which we've never claimed we weren't morons.
Yeah, right. No, all right.
So when they left the interiors division separate as a separate company, it became Recaro because they took Reuter, cartosserie, whatever, and made Recaro.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. How did we get on this subject?
Thanksgiving, Alex.
That's right.
Yeah.
Belt-fed Thanksgiving. That's
did you, which was a great title. Again, another shout out to Chris Baxter. Did you get everything completed, Tyler? That's the big question.
Of course not. I got some things back together.
Oh yeah, there's not 10 carburetors sitting on your floor.
No, there's no more carburetors on the floor. There's some body panels. What else do I have on the floor? I think a wheel maybe on the floor.
Is either bike functional?
In what sense of the phrase?
Could you get on either of them and ride them?
No. Oh, I've got clutch plates out of the VFR.
So do you have to wait till the Christmas break basically to get this all done?
Unfortunately, I think I won't even be here, so I'm going to lose like 2. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do, but they're both running, and that's kind of a new thing.
That's great.
Well, the VFR always ran.
Yeah, you had it up here.
Yeah,
recently.
I just rode it up here a couple weeks ago.
Great looking bike. Were you here when you had that in the office?
Yeah, he parked it here.
It was so
same
sick.
time as was that the dinner we had as well?
Yes,
or
that's
no?
right. Yeah.
That was our office Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sick. Very sick bike.
Yeah, I love that thing. So I'm so excited to be doing some work on it. And yeah, it's kind of a fun and not all that challenging bike to work on. So just kind of fun to see how Honda had changed from, again, just 1982, 4 years later, by 1986, like all the bolts and screws are accessible. There's just nothing is like weird about it.
But your CBX is from late in the run of that bike, whereas the VFR is early in the run of that bike, right? So even though they're only a few years apart, the designs are like 10 years apart, right?
Yeah, totally,
okay.
Totally different technology. The CBX was using technology that was basically from like 1978.
Or okay.
Yeah, with
earlier.
the dual overhead cam inline. But I mean, CB750 obviously it was the 4-cylinder single overhead cam. I mean, so
and that goes
really
back to what? Around 1970? When's the
69?
69. Yeah. Okay.
And that's interesting that it got easier to work on because in cars it's almost the opposite.
Ooh.
They get harder as time goes by.
Well, depending on the air. So I used to work on old German cars that were complicated, and then when I would work on like our 2000 Civic, I was like, oh, Honda really has this figured out. There's only like 10 mil, 13 mil, and 17 mil bolts. So like it was way simpler.
Yeah. When I did the timing cover on my M10 in the 2002, every single screw is a different length.
Totally.
It's just like you have to take pictures.
Old German is not good.
That's true. That's a good point.
You've been doing your own work too, Beck, on the E46. How's that car to work on?
Very little of my own work.
Okay.
It's mostly fine. I mean, I did a lot of trim work, to be honest, which is scary.
Like interior trim
work. I replaced a ton of
brittle plastic
stuff, windshield cowl, things like that. Things you would do once in your lifetime and then never again. But it's been mostly fine. I mean, it's a classic case of having the right tool. I mean, probably the smartest thing you can do if you have a modern car is just buy an interior trim removal set.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible what you can do.
Is that like shims and things to get underneath?
Yes, but it's like shims with like 10 different versions of the same shim, but all at different angles.
Oh.
And with soft like bushings to leverage off of so you don't scrape or dent something when you're applying that arm onto it. It's really amazing. You go from
using a flathead blade and being like,
and making little indentations with every flathead blade to all of a sudden things come off and go back on and you didn't even break the clip.
Yeah.
That's kind of an amazing thing. So that's what I've been doing for, God, it's too long. Just same with Tyler here. Like
Are you willing to admit on the podcast how long it's been? It has been quite some time you've been prepping this car for sale.
I was thinking about
You've probably talked about it on the podcast.
I did the dumb thing of talking about it in September when I said, look for it in early October.
No.
And now it's early December. I've hit 2 main roadblocks in prepping my ZHP E46 for the site. First one was smog. The O2 sensor was setting off codes and the air pump was having problems, so I had to get those done. And then if you've ever had to pass smog in a state before, usually there's a drive cycle that the car has to do for a certain distance before you can go get it tested. The idea being you can't like swap on new parts and then try to get it tested and then sell it immediately. And so in this case, I had that issue. I had to drive the car, but it's not just like 200 miles. It's like you have to drive a certain amount of time at certain speeds. And
there's a cycle. The computer knows what you're how to do it.
And you can't find this information like in the owner's manual or anything.
Is this to get the check engine light to go off?
No, it's to get the system's check engine light turns off because it's no longer blowing.
Oh, because it's OBD2. When they go plug it in, it'll say you haven't driven far enough.
Exactly. Right. It'll say that doesn't. So in order to.
Sorry, I'm slowly turning into a right winger who hates California. That's insane.
In order to pass smog, you have to drive your car more. And so I had.
It defeats the purpose.
I mean, you'd imagine like a certified mechanic should be able to like override that, right? If they're saying like, I've done this service, it's done, pass. But regardless, I ended up going back to my mechanic, trying to figure this out. I'd found some things online about like, oh, you got to let this car idle for 3 minutes, then drive it for 15 miles an hour at 10 minutes. Like it's
Jeez, I didn't even know about this.
So he said, I went to my mechanic and he said, no, pretty much M54 motors, even at 50 motors, it is 50 miles an hour for like an extended period of time, like 20 minutes or something like that, which like, where can you drive?
I mean, you have to
miles an hour?
Drive down to Palo Alto and back or something.
I drove 280 in the right lane at 50 miles an hour. just ruining everyone's day.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, it was in the right lane. I didn't try to do anything in the left lane, obviously, but I just drove it in the right lane and just sort of cruised, set a timer for 10 minutes. Then I got off, turned back around, came back, and I went straight to the smog check. And they said, nope, that car's too old. And then I went to the second smog check. They said, he's not coming in today. I went to the third smog check location and it passed. So I think the problem is
I mean, smog places that sounds like another problem with our system is people are getting tired of doing this. Like the smog check places don't even want to do it.
They don't want to do it.
When they would see my NSX roll up, they'd just, point in the other direction. Get out of here.
Your 76
totally.
912, my 78 911. Basically, we have to pay our mechanics to do this, right?
Correct.
They have guys who get this done for them legally. I'm not saying like some sort of
No, not cheating it.
but it did pass.
Right. I used to get mine to pass all the time too. The air pump and all. Oh my God, it's insane.
So, but it finally passed. That was a big hindrance. So that sort of kept me pushing back and back and back and back because I really wanted a clean smog cert, even though I knew it could pass. Wanted that in the auction listing. But finally,
now you're on a ticking clock.
Now you got 3 months, right? So, I mean, you should think 3 months is plenty of time, right? But no, it's actually taking me 3 months to get to this point.
Not with your interior
for those
kit.
folks not in California, could you explain what the 3 months?
Oh, yeah. So basically, a California smog certificate is valid for 90 days. So
for sale, it's valid longer if you're keeping the car. But in terms of selling
for the purposes of use of taking it in for registration purposes, whether or not as you registering it for yourself or for
the next
a buyer to do it themselves. So you've got a 90-day window to get that done. That's right. But now, the funny part about this is that there's a very good chance this car doesn't go to California.
Oh, totally.
It goes outside of the state where this won't matter at all. But at least they'll have the confidence of knowing that it's running correctly.
And it will pass. Yeah.
And it will pass.
And you're kind of bringing that approach to the whole thing. You fixed somebody's going to get like the nicest E46.
My slogan for this auction is, I have spent all my money so you don't have to.
Right.
So
we're going to put that in the headline.
In the headline, yes. So that's the idea. I've been trying this whole time to basically make it as if I were going to keep the car for 2 more years, like this is what I would have done anyway.
Right.
So it's finally now in the office. It's on a lift. I got to take a few more underside photos and it's in editing right now. And hopefully when people are listening to this, it actually is live right now. It's the white E46 sedan 6-speed live on the site. And yeah, it's pretty great. It's a classic problem of it. It looks way better than I ever owned it.
Totally. And then you start regretting it. But it's also, this is, at least for the purposes of this podcast, it's instructional in that it reiterates one of the truisms about BAT that I wish wasn't the case, but it is, which is it's freaking hard to sell ethically a car.
It is because, I mean, if you have a truly collector car that you leave in like correct maintenance position, meaning it is just sort of already been done and you're not abusing it, you're not daily driving it, and it just maintains that throughput of always being ready to be sold, then it's not hard as much. So you get the car cleaned, you photograph it, you're done. But when you're selling a daily driver, that's the real challenge, because then you get the issue of like you start having discovery. Yeah. And I was thinking about this. It's the same as when you're selling a house. It would be extremely convenient if you constantly maintain your house to the perfect standards and you didn't ever use it.
Almost always something deferred.
You've always deferred things, right? Unless it is a genuinely, again, a collector house, right? A second house you have elsewhere that you aren't abusing all the time.
Or it's something that you must address at this moment. If you don't need to, most of the time, if we're busy like all of us, you just don't do it right away.
And you're willing to live with it the way that it is. And so that's the challenge, I think, especially with a car like this, it was my daily for a couple of years.
Totally.
Then you're stuck with this, trying to play a lot of catch up all of a sudden. Then you hit a roadblock and, well, order of operations, you want to do photos after all these things are done, but then you do photos and you discover there's issues.
Yes,
and then you're back to it again. And if you do have a one-stop shop, like a local partner,
well, it took me 7 years to list the NSX, and I finally gave up. I actually put it on the rack like you did, and took underside pictures in like May of 2024, and then it was like 9 months later, and I'm like, wow, those aren't even really valid anymore. So I'm gonna have to redo that.
Wasn't the NSX like the longest running vehicle in our system?
I'm going to look on our dashboard right now. Is it still there?
It might still be there. I think there was like a little number next to it that said like 2,000.
It got to 1,500. So a lot of
1,500.
A lot of our more facetious colleagues would put little tags on it. Like, shout out to Matt Cook, to Mike Barron, various people. Yes, it's still there.
What are you up to?
2,383 days in the system. Anyways, congratulations, Beck. We're close. We're at the finish line.
We're close. I'm trying in some interesting things, some little marketing tactics while it's live, just experimenting a little bit. Curious what it's like, but I'm very excited.
When was the W124 the last time you sold a car on the site?
Correct. Yeah, it was 2022, 2023.
Okay, it's been a couple of years. Great. Which piece of junk motorcycle are you going to put on the site, Tyler?
Yeah.
Does the title end in project?
Yeah, right. Close, but no, I'm not going to do it. To be honest with you, I'm for the bikes anyway. If I do sell them, I'm doing the Beck routine where I'm going. I want them to be good before. It's with the bikes.
You're more of a buyer than a seller, anyways, Tyler.
The reason is because I'm a terrible seller.
Yeah,
and
I am
terrible buyer. To be honest with you, I'm like this buy high, destroy something, and then sell it because I don't feel like fixing it at that point, which I'm really trying to get out of that routine.
No, but honestly, there's nothing. I just talked about how hard it is to sell on BAT. And actually, there's nothing wrong with selling not only a project, but a car with deferred maintenance. You just have to be honest about all of it and be honest with yourself about how much some of that stuff might affect the value, right? Like non-functioning AC on a 50-year-old Porsche, maybe it doesn't matter that much.
Sure.
But if it's coming up on timing belt service time and you don't want to pay for that, then you're going to take a hit.
But I think that's why a lot of these owners go to professional sellers to get it done, because their ego is associated with the success of
100%.
the auction. And even if you're not, here in office, I can't risk having an embarrassing auction. Right?
Totally.
I got to do it right because
Yes.
I'm here part of the staff. Additionally, if you're a collector with car friends and they know your auction's going live and they see it on there and they see that there's issues with it, that'll reflect upon you as a person, right? It's
Correct.
part of your identity to a sense. And so you kind of virtue signal by saying no, I'm having this professional do it and it's going to look this good and be this great. If that's not as much of a concern, then it's cheaper, right?
Yes.
It's much easier to just sort of to bypass that opportunity.
Right. Which we're always trying to catch with BAT sellers, because that's the nature of wanting to sell a car, right? You want to minimize your investment if you possibly
Sure.
can. And we're always trying to catch that because we don't want a buyer to ever be surprised by what shows up on their doorstep. And by the way, this is something I think Randy always used to say, buying old cars isn't for everyone. There's going to be issues with old cars almost no matter what. Even if a car's perfectly maintained, you could buy it and 2 minutes later have a problem with it, right?
But you didn't have any problems on your recent
Oh, good
Is that
segue,
true?
Beck.
No
You're like a
problems?
professional.
Beck is good at this.
I know he is. He's a natural. It's been suggested to me that I should give up and just hand the mic to Beck.
No
Yes.
one said that.
One of your friends suggested that to me.
I can confirm that it is actually really hard to be in Alex's seat where you have to work the computer while leading the podcast.
Yeah, I have to push 4 buttons, man.
It's easy to sit here and chat. It's easy to sit here and chat, but when you got to look at the timer, you got to look at the screen.
How are we doing? We're doing okay. One-man producer. Actually, the shout out goes to Chris Baxter, who actually makes us sound better, cuts out all of our ums and ahs. I didn't realize, I love listening to podcasts, and I didn't realize how much polishing happens on the really
sure.
professional ones. People sound so erudite, and it's actually their producer making them sound that way.
Yeah.
No, there were a few problems with my car, but it did make it 3,700 kilometers without
Wow.
any motor hiccup, so I can't complain about that.
Remind everyone what car this is again?
It's a 1978 Ferrari 308 GTB, a Euro spec car with the dry sump motor. I think I mentioned this to you guys earlier. One morning it took 50 miles for the oil to heat
Wow.
up. So I was so eager to get a dry sump car.
How
Now I'm
cold was it in the morning there?
it was cold. This was out of El Paso. I freaking love the desert. It's those days where there's not a cloud in the sky and it's sunny, but it's cold.
We've been having that here
Yeah.
right now in the city.
Yes, we have been, indeed.
Yes.
It was probably 40 degrees when we left.
Then
and
you're driving at speed too. So it's not like you're sitting there idling. letting it
actually,
warm
and the oil pressure was higher because you could tell the oil was thicker.
It was
I actually
thick,
drove
yeah.
slow for a while because one of the interesting things about that car is it's pretty highly strung. Texas has 80-mile-an-hour speed limits. God bless that state. We drove across the fattest part of Texas, and it took 3 days. That state is so big. I drove it slower that morning because at 80 miles an hour, it's spinning 4,200 RPM in fifth gear.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's really short gears. You're driving around town at 40 miles an hour, you're in fourth gear a
That's
lot of
crazy
the time.
for a 5-speed.
It's very different when you're coming out of the NSX, which is the opposite. And top of second gear is 85 miles an hour. It's the opposite of that. But it's fun because that gated shifter is really great.
Is the gearing the same for the US models?
Great question. I don't know. I would imagine it is. It's been a long time since I'd driven one.
Usually they'll actually sometimes go to a higher rear end ratio for the American ones because they're detuned engines to help match
the US
acceleration.
cars were 240 horse. This is 255. It has a little bit more, but honestly, it doesn't even.
That's incredible. 255 out of a 3-liter.
2.9. It's 2,2,900.
1978 for just a
Yeah.
regular off the not
Totally.
a special race
It's
version.
70,
is really
it's
strong.
75,
That's
7,500
Almost
RPM.
100 a liter.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It is. I'm excited for both of you to take it for a spin. It's a really fun car to drive. So yeah, mechanically no problems. It needs some sorting. It was restored a little longer ago than I thought. The tires were from 2014 and didn't have dash lights, didn't have turn signals. This rear view mirror fell off as soon as I got in it. So I was a little
exactly what you want.
I was a little bit like
just flew across the country to pick up.
I was a little bit like,
That's a little ominous.
oh no.
Yes.
And I was picking it up. Felix and I flew across the country and picked it up the night we landed and then took it to our hotel that night because I wanted to leave early the next morning. So I was a little bit like, oh, we're not going to make it. And the first day was like 500 miles and I took a wrong turn, which extended it by 50 miles, but that let us drive through the French.
That allowed you to warm up the engine, though.
It did. Well, that was Louisiana. So that was, AC also didn't work. And so down in the South where it was very humid.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that was tough. But it did allow us to drive through the French Quarter, which was kind of cool. I'd
cool.
never been to New Orleans. I'd never been to Mississippi or Louisiana. So those were two
How
new
is that
states for me.
suspension on cobblestone
It's
streets?
so smooth. The suspension is so okay. So first of all, it's way more Italian than I remember. Have either of you sat in an Eames chair where you're like leaned really far back?
I have one.
It's just like sitting in an Eames chair.
Amazing.
Like you're leaned back even further than I thought. But I'll tell you what, zero back pain. We drove 2,000 miles and nothing. So there's a reason. I've always heard the Eames Lounger is set up like that so that it takes the pressure off your lower back. And this car is the same way. And the roof is really low on it. So it's, I think, the only way you'd fit in it. But I mean, I was reaching all the way out to touch. Another problem is I couldn't get the seat to go forward. So I was using my very tippy toe to get the clutch all the way down. But it was mainly highway driving, so it was okay. But yeah, that first day and then the generator, the charging light popped on in New Orleans. This is only like 200 miles into a 2,000. I'm like, oh, we're not going to make it.
Oh, no.
But then no problems. Like the whole way across we were up at 5,000 feet. We were in rainstorms in Texas.
Even with the alternator light on, it was all...
It cranked strong every time. It's a light issue. It's a sensor issue. It's not the actual charging system.
Which you would have found out about in
I was like,
150
my son was like pretty stressed out, and I was like, it's either gonna stop working or it's not. And
has he ever been in a car that's broken down?
No.
Oh,
that's a right. I was thinking about that the whole time. Yeah, I used to be in pieces of crap my dad had that broke down all the time. Ran out of gas. My dad used to run our car out of gas all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever run out of gas. But yeah, my son's never. The stress of old cars, the young generation just doesn't know.
I ran out of gas once, but it was, in my defense, the gas gauge was stuck.
Wait, did I ever tell you guys my run out of gas story? I may have, but it was on my way to drive my friend Chris to the airport, of all places. I ran out of gas like 2 miles from the gas station in Gilroy that I was like...
He's like, thanks for the ride, buddy.
Yeah, I was like, I know I can make this gas station. My gauge isn't right. Ran out of gas, had to like basically run up to the gas station, get a couple tanks, and a guy sitting there had, I don't know this super well, but it was one of those Volkswagen Synchros.
Like a Vanagon.
The Vanagon, thank you. And the guy offered me a ride, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's just a Synchro. It looked kind of tall, and I don't know them that well, so I wanted to sound cool. And he goes, oh my God, yeah, you must really know
You
these.
made his day.
Totally.
He's like, you must really know these.
God.
Well, I got better because he's like, you want to ride back? And I'm like, oh my God, dude, that'd be amazing. Like, part of me wanted to say no, like that's okay, but I'm like, no, I actually do really need to ride back.
Totally.
So
also, can we go to the airport and pick up my buddy?
Yeah. Can you give my buddy a ride to the airport?
Yeah. So we get on the highway, and as we're on the on-ramp, merging onto the highway, there's something off about this car. Something doesn't feel quite right about it. And next thing I know, we're doing like 70 miles an hour. And I'm like, why does this car feel faster than I would have expected it to? I've never been in one. He says, oh, I put a Porsche motor in it.
Yeah, 911 SC engine probably.
Yeah.
A lot of those, that's why a lot of SC motors went into those. There was a company that did it for a while, and they were 3 liters.
The mechanic at High Tech who did my engine build, I think it was Dana, has maybe it was his brother actually, has it in the shop, is a Synchro with a 993 G50 in it.
Sick. Man, Tyler,
it was a great car. I was like, I really like it.
Plus, it sounds good, I bet.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone does Subi motors now because 911 engines are too expensive.
Yeah,
but when they were cheaper, that's what they did.
I think a good one would be doing M96 motors now because you can get
interesting.
Builds on them.
Well, and some of those have radiators up front. The early ones were air cooled, I think, but the later ones are water cooled.
All the 996s are water cooled.
No, I meant the Vanagons. Aren't the early Vanagons air cooled? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. Some of them only have one grill on the front, though. But I used to work on those things, and the water-cooled ones are scary. We've talked about this before, but the Fat company, the motor that I have in my 912, they built those for buses for the same reason, to get the... Yeah.
Well, there's those buses, the Type 2s, that roam around San Francisco with the sort of hippie livery on them.
They're like tourists.
around.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty much all Porsche motor powered because it's the only way to get up and down the hills, especially if you're throwing 4, 5, 6 tourists in the back.
Yeah.
And they go drive around, and the driver's there with a little headset on, and he's talking about the neighborhood. Way better than doing one of those open
and you
top.
see like 7 people in them sometimes. Going up really steep hills. That's one of the reasons the fat motors might even be better than Porsche motors, other than being way cheaper, is they have a lot of torque.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Alex, you've been wanting this GTB for so long. 308.
So long.
Was it like getting in it and kind of seeing the gated shifter? Like, was it everything you had hoped for?
So the rear view mirror is
rear mirror falls off.
and all your dreams are crushed.
The car is so cosmetically nice. I was actually a little worried.
That's the hard part, man.
I think when I worked on them 25 years ago, they were 20-year-old cars, and they weren't this. I don't know if they were this nice, honestly, when they were new. It's so nice, but it has a lot of kilometers. When I picked it up, it had 74 or something, and it's just about to cross 78 now. So I didn't fear putting a bunch of kilometers on it. I did feel bad getting it really, really dirty. My
it's
actual
a white car.
I'm sure it loved it.
My actual favorite thing about it is that it has the single exhaust, which only the early 308s have, and a lot of people put the quad ANSA exhaust on them with the valence in between them and stuff. And this has the little simple thing, but the left rear side from the, it's got 4 carburetors on it, is all brown. Yeah, I actually love that. But I'm also like, I left it with my mechanic down in Riverside who works on my Cord, interestingly. He's an expert on Ferraris, letter series Chryslers, and Cords of all things. So
Beautiful.
All I need is a letter series and I'm set.
Have you ever owned a white car before?
The Cord. That's it. The Cord's a piece of crap.
Because you also don't drive that often. I mean, white cars, dude, it's
the
so
E46. Yeah, okay. They get dirty immediately.
Oh my God. Within a week, it's just filthy, and it just shows everything. It's fresh. It's one of the reasons I'm like, nope, never again.
Well,
I'm not going to daily it, though.
I'm not going to daily it. And the main thing is, honestly, I didn't want a red one. So when I dropped it off in Riverside a couple days ago, Timo, shout out to Timo, who's definitely not going to listen to this, my mechanic, he had a Daytona in there that he'd restored from the ground up, like tore it down to a bare shell and did everything on it. He was telling me he made his own glass for it, needed a new windshield. And
I don't know how that works.
He's a crazy person. But it's that gold color that was on Ferraris in the 70s. And I knew it's my dream color for 308. They came in that gold. And I was like, oh, Timo, this is the color I wanted on a 308. And he's like, come here. And he showed me a door skin that he'd made for it that he didn't end up using because it wasn't perfect enough. And he painted it. He's like, oh, Oro Chiaro had 3 different shades. And he had this door painted the 3 different colors of that gold. Ferrari gave it the same name, but they changed I think this is true of Guards Red too. They changed the formula over the years. And so he's like, here's what it looked like in the early 70s. Here's what it looked like in the late 70s. And here's what it looked like in the 80s. And I was like, oh man, I wish my car was that color. But anything but red is the main thing. I just didn't want red.
That's an interesting concept of just like, what's the color that's so commonplace for a certain mark that you just can't have it in that?
Yeah, and then some people think that's what you have to have it in.
Sure, exactly.
Right? Like,
which is one of the reasons why you don't want it.
Totally. I'll share with you one of the most shameful moments of the trip. Like, got a lot of thumbs up, got a lot of people like, what is it? A lot of people, valets in particular, even with the prancing horse on the front, people are like, what is this? And I think if it was red, nobody would have asked, right? But the most shameful moment was pulling into Houston. This is like day 3. We're coming in. A guy's like really excited in like a 4Runner next to us. And he asks my son to roll the window down. And he goes, is it an MR2?
What was he joking?
I was like, it's a Ferrari.
You thought it was a kid car?
I tried not to be like,
it's a Ferrari.
I wasn't.
Thanks.
I actually literally was not offended at all. But I was kind of like, wow, that's interesting.
Better than asking if it was a Fiero. I'd rather take MR.
No one has asked that yet. No one has asked that yet. It does have a red book in case people are worried that it's a Fiero.
And that's interesting. I've actually never laid hands on a red book. I've seen like photos forever.
I'll bring it in so you can look at it. It's like, not to crap on Ferrari Classiche, but like who cares, dude? Like all it does is show some pictures from the restoration and show the tags that you can literally open the engine bay and see, right? So I don't understand the point of it in this case. And also, like, we've seen enough of those to know that Ferrari just will sign off on just about anything, right? If you're trying to please the owner and make $6,000 or whatever it costs to get one of those things, like,
it could easily be a one sheet of here's the 4 or 5 photos that matter and what are on the car, and we certify them as real.
But it's this era, speaking of you dialing in your E46, Tyler, or you not wanting to sell a bike without it being perfect, it's like we're in the era, this is the whole reason BAT has been successful, of the knowledgeable consumer. And if you're buying a used Ferrari and you're not like a Ferrari expert, what's the first thing you're going to ask? Where's the red book, right? Like, it's just like a thing.
That's why people do cold engine starts on new cars. It's like, you don't need it, but someone's going to ask because the standard is there now.
Yeah, and that drives some people crazy, but it's also just kind of what you got to do. It's why it's hard to sell ethically.
What was the best part of the drive?
Texas Hill Country is awesome. Have either of you guys driven through that?
No,
and it was raining that day. So we went from Houston, which was actually great. We stayed in an incredible hotel there. One of our regular sellers recommended it to me, Hotel Zaza, and the restaurant that we went to got some Texas barbecue, which was very good. That was about 100 miles into Texas. Houston's about 100 or 150 miles into Texas from the eastern border with Louisiana. And then we drove, that was our longest day. We drove 530 miles this day, just due west across Texas, and went across these undulating hills up to about a couple thousand feet in altitude. And it was raining a lot of that day. And then that's where we stopped.
On 11-year-old tires.
Gosh. by my mechanic, again, Timo, he's like, I should hit you. And I was like, I bet they only had like 1,000 kilometers on them. They looked brand new. And they're XWX.
The shine
they look
from
so
how
good.
hard they are.
Totally. They look so good though. But I'm getting a new set of those, obviously.
Nice.
Drove across there and then out into the flat part of West Texas, into the Permian Basin where Midland and Odessa are, where this huge shale oil boom is happening. And we stayed in Odessa that night. So that drive was my favorite. And then we went to the Petroleum Museum and saw the Chaparrals.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, they're pretty much all there, including an early test car and then all the way up to the turbine car, you know, the one that sucks itself down to the ground.
I'm sorry, the Petroleum Museum?
Yeah, it's all about the Permian Basin. And
I don't
like
know about this thing at all.
Okay, so the Permian, you know about the big shale oil boom, right? In Central Texas, that when you drive out to Midland, by the way, that we had to go across like flooded roads and stuff where the like Texas road, whatever, their equivalent of Caltrans, had shut down the roads. And every single vehicle out in the Permian Basin is a work truck, like F-350 with a generator in the back. And then the other half of traffic are semis with like oil equipment on the back.
Wow.
And then there's you guys.
Yeah, I saw like one Corolla and one Accord, and then there's this 70s Ferrari. And like, I'm like, Felix, we're going to have to ford this like flooded street. Like, otherwise we're going to have to go 150 miles backwards to the next town. So we had to go through it. There were all this, I was afraid I was going to crack the block. All the steam came out when we like submerged the motor.
Oh my God.
Anyway, fun stuff. I have crazy pictures from that day. But there's the Petroleum Museum out there, which explains the Permian Basin. It's like 2,500 feet in elevation, but flat, almost no vegetation. And it's so big, you can't see the mountains. It's like 100 miles or more in every direction from these two cities out in the middle. And it's just oil rigs everywhere. And there's like no women. Odessa and Midland both have 100,000 plus people in them, but it's all young roughneck men.
Yeah.
Felix was like, I don't know about that here. But the Petroleum Museum was sick. And it like explains, you know, the geology of why there's so much. It was an ocean basically. And it shows all the layers and all the different eras from millions of years ago where there's plant and animal life that have led to all this oil. And there was a boom there 100 years ago with like regular oil. And then whatever technology allowed, I think it's fracking, whatever allowed people to extract oil from gravel, from shale, basically, has led to this second boom, which is, I mean, it's probably the closest thing to what it would have been like to have been in the Old West, like in a boom town. It's just like every single element of being out there is about this boom that's happening, right? Wow. And there's a ton of money, but you know, that's rough work and that's tough stuff out there. But the Petroleum Museum was rad. And then for some reason, well, it's because he was from there. That's where Jim Hall, a former guest of this podcast, kept the Chaparrals, which his family still owns. They're in this museum. So there's one little room and, you know, there's the D, E, F, G, and H. They're all there. And the J, I think, is the fan car. And then the K is the first of his Indy cars that he built with Penske. And they had one of those there too. But, you know, both the open and closed one with the big wing, the huge wing across the top, that's the E and the F. The D precedes those. There was one that I never knew about, which I think is the G, which you had to lay down in, and it has windows on the side. I'll show you a picture of it. It's wild. And then the last one of the kind of white classic Chaparrals is the J, which is the one with the fan on the back and the skirts, and it sucks it down to the ground, which I think was made illegal after a year. And they had that one in like a little faux workshop with the back off so you could see how all the suction worked.
That's amazing.
It was sick. I'm probably never going to go there again, and I've always wanted to see the Chaparrals. Randy and I have talked about it. It's like, when are you going to be back here?
Yeah.
How long was the total drive then? How many days?
3,700 kilometers, 2,000 miles. So the big haul was from Mississippi to Scottsdale. So flew to Mississippi. First day was Mississippi to Houston, then Houston to Midland, Midland to El Paso, another place I'd never been. Our hotel room, you could see Ciudad Juarez like right out the window. Like it was crazy. really cool though, downtown El Paso. At that point, we were making it up, me and my son. I didn't know if the car was going to make it, so I didn't get
Sure.
hotels past Midland. So we did that. That was really cool. We drove the last 100 miles right next to the border wall, right along the Rio Grande.
You
Never been
rolling into Motel 6s and just asking if they have a room?
No, we looked ahead. We stayed in pretty fancy hotels everywhere we could. I mean, sometimes that's not really possible. Like in Midland,
Sure.
we stayed in a Marriott. That was the nicest hotel there. But I wanted to try to find covered parking in most places, which I'm really turning into a namby-pamby. Most valets were cool with us leaving the car right out in front. They liked that. Although as it got dirtier and dirtier, that was less the case. And then we stayed in Tucson, which was awesome. Went to a big air museum there. Tried to go to the Triton Missile Museum. Anyway, one of those big, where they have a whole town bunker underground with a big intercontinental ballistic missile in a silo. And we went there and the tours were all sold out. So all I did was walk around the outside. And that was the biggest disappointment. That was the kind of top thing I wanted to do. So got to go back to Tucson. And then last day was just 100 miles up to Phoenix. And the whole rest of my family came out and met us. And so we were in Phoenix for 3 days for Thanksgiving. My mom and dad, all my kids, Arizona Biltmore, shout out, best hotel in the world. Stayed there for a couple days. And then just another couple 100 miles to Riverside on the last day.
And car is staying in Southern California for some work.
Yeah, it's going to get all that sorting done on it. I mean, it needs every fluid and everything at this point. I bet a lot of that stuff is 10 years old, but amazing car. I can't wait for you guys to drive it. I think you'll really like it.
Wow, what a story too to bring it. You always do these fun pick up and drive home stories.
Fly and drive is the only thing I want to do for the rest of my life. It's not really because you have to buy a car each time. It's not really a car hobby you can have, but it's the only thing I want to do.
Sight unseen as well.
Well, not with the GT3, which was almost as long as this, but I had it
That was
all
St. Louis, right?
Oklahoma City.
Oh.
But I did that solo, and that was a much newer car, also with air conditioning and everything. But I had, I don't know, $12,000 in service done on that car before I did it. This one was jump in and go on an older car and all that.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I gave us about a 50-50 chance, but we made it.
Nice. And he had a co-pilot this time. That's awesome.
Shout out Felix. I don't know if he wants his pictures on the website. I'll have to ask him before I send anything to Chris, but we'll post a couple of pics.
And did he get some wheel time?
No wheel time for him, but he did say he really liked the car. It was remarkably comfortable for him. He, I think, really enjoyed getting to see the country. I mean, it's a part of the country that I don't know I'm ever going to do again. I mean, we were right down at the bottom edge of the country, and it was awesome.
I mean, it took you buying your dream car to get you out there. So
totally. I mean, it was rad. We were doing all the fun games, looking for out-of-state plates. We didn't see a California plate until almost Phoenix. Most of the plates were from the states that we were in. We kept an eye out. Will we see a car that's cooler than the car we're in the whole way? I didn't see another Ferrari until the Arizona Biltmore. And there was a modern Ferrari there. And then my dad did the last little leg with me from Phoenix to Riverside.
Oh, cool.
And we got passed by a yellow California, a modern California going extremely fast. And I told Felix that, and he said, "Is that car cooler than yours?" And I said,
nope.
No, son. No, son, it is not.
No, it is not. Got passed by an Amira. Those are really good looking. Have you been around one of those? It was a blue
I didn't see one
one.
in person, but yeah, they look great.
One of the new ones?
Yeah, I thought it was a
I've not
Ferrari
seen
when it
one
was
in
coming up in
person.
the rear. It's because they have the proportions of a Ferrari. Very good looking car. Anyway, I had a
Speaking
ball.
of good looking cars, what do you got your eye on the site
Oh,
these
good,
days?
good. Look, another professional segue.
Tyler, cut it out.
Sorry, Beck.
You're stealing Beck's thunder. No, great call, Tyler. We should talk a little bit about what's on the site because there is great stuff. My watch list is freaking sick. Of course, I have a 308 on it, even though I just bought one. There's a red Vetroresina on the seat. You saw that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you see Vetroresina, you have to watch it.
We should talk about that 914. That's an incredible car, Beck.
Yes, the yellow one.
It'll be
Where
closed
is
by the
it?
time this goes live, I think. Or
true.
will just have closed. But long single family ownership, blue plate.
Blue plate, earlier car, 1970 car, so it still has the polished front bumper, which is crucial.
Good bumpers, yeah.
914.6, but it hasn't had what everyone adds, which is the big wheel arches, which is great. It is just about as honest of a 6-cylinder 914 that you can get. I'm more and more enamored by these.
On one of our pods, you said, you're like, this is the spec for me. And then this car popped up and I'm like, oh, this is it.
This is the one.
Correct.
Yes,
Same for me.
Very good.
What else is on your list, Beck?
Obviously, that Vetroresina we're talking about, the 308, which is the fiberglass body car. And let's see here.
American car, though. He doesn't have the good bumpers like I do, or the good motor.
Very true. Very true. The tank.
Another tank.
Centurion, Mark 13 tank. The 62 Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint Zagato that is live on the site.
Oh, the Coda
right now.
Tronca? Yes, that's top of my. That one's
Holy
so good.
cow.
I just saw that today for the first time.
Oh,
Incredible.
dude.
What's funny is Zagato is such an odd duck when it adds their name to it. The fact that they're not a maker of cars themselves, but they have such a clear brand. Like if you saw this car, it is lot 222112.
It'll be over. It's actually ending tomorrow.
It's ending tomorrow, but if you saw this and you were just told, you saw the Alfa badge, you'd be like, oh, clearly that's a Zagato.
Mhm.
Even if you hadn't seen this car before, the shapes, especially the back end, just screams of Zagato's time with Alfa Romeo. I love that one. I'll be hopefully excited for that close for tomorrow.
This is like the second generation of the original SZ, like the car that Howard has, transitionary before the TZ,
Before the
which I
TZs
like,
come in
right?
with
Yeah.
the two.
We've had one or two of these before. They have the little trunk opens in the back in the cam tail, there's like a door that flaps open.
Okay.
These have some of my favorite seats of all time, if not my favorite. And I think the TZ has similar seats. They're like buttress seats, really simple, but these are green in this car. Usually we've had a silver one and a red one, I think, on the site before, but this is like a light, like grayish green.
Yeah.
And then it has a green interior. I absolutely love this car.
Only two other cars I'll mention because there's a lot of wealth to be passed around, but a really important one would be the 67 911S in red, first year S. To have one of those.
Missed that one.
These are rare. It's first year, short wheelbase. These are just, I mean, it's the start of 911 having multiple like tiered.
Oh, I did see this car. I didn't realize it was Nesta. He's got wider Fuchs.
Little
on it.
wider
Yeah.
wheels added on there.
4.5s though on these originally, which looks so good, where the spokes
Mhm.
stick out of the wheels.
Uh,
The original Fuchs.
the original.
Speaking of how to
Fuchs.
produce it, yeah, right.
And
Fuchs.
great seats.
I'm not going to say the way you said it again.
Thank you. And otherwise, just a kind of a
Never
quintessential
seen one in red. The original S. They have a high red line too. They're like 7,500 RPM, something like that.
something pretty high for sure. The next one up, the last one I'll mention is the ex Richard Petty
Oh,
Superbird.
What a beast! I don't think I've ever
Insane.
seen a white
God.
Superbird before. Have you ever seen it?
I haven't, and I
Okay.
want so bad to have
Yes.
this car at Monterey. And while everyone's driving around in their 67 S's, you just lumber down the street,
Mhm.
and this beast would be incredible.
I mean,
It's,
this has
uh,
got to be the Superbird. These one.
Oh,
example
totally.
to have.
Well, unless you have like the Richard
Well,
Petty race
the
car,
race
the
car,
blue
yeah,
one.
would be
Yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah.
would be the other one.
It's a Hemi, but with an automatic, right? Isn't that the spec?
440
440. Okay, with an auto.
with a 3-speed auto. Yes,
Amazing car. Looks so good in white. I wouldn't have thought that.
it looks
Fantastic presentation too.
Yeah.
great presentation.
It's a Grand Prix Hall, isn't it?
It's great rain
Oh, it is,
hall.
okay.
Not a huge fan of the spinning photo studio.
No, but those guys do a good job.
They do a good job, and it totally also get for a car of like this time of year, you might just not take it
Yeah.
outside. So
Yeah, maybe especially not in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
There's a
correct.
Petty hat in there too with the feather
Is
and
there?
everything, isn't
That's
there? I
cool.
think so.
that's amazing.
Man, I mean, you've got to wear the hat every time
100%.
you drive the car. You can't drive the car without
100%. A couple other, I don't know if you have some shout outs, Tyler. The Sultan of Brunei LM002 that's been turned
Yeah,
into a
that's pretty
wagon.
It's
crazy.
a white glove car.
Oh, is
That's
it
pretty
really?
crazy.
Roland's.
That
yes.
car is extremely sick. I don't really like LM002s that much, but this one does it for me. They look really good as like a hunting wagon or whatever it is.
For sure. You kind of wish that
They'd
had,
made it
like
that way.
Land Rovers,
Totally.
expanded it into other variants there. But very interesting, peculiar. Roland's been working this one for a long, long time. Has classic LM002 issues of very old tires
Yeah.
because finding
No
the
one
tires.
drives
are-
them.
Yeah.
There's a whole conversation about the tires in the
Right.
comments.
I know it goes back and forth. Some people say that you can find tires for them. Some people say that you can, but they're $35,000 a
Yeah.
set. So yeah,
They
they're
probably
cool.
do a run of them and then you have to wait forever till they do another run of them.
Right.
Because how many, there's like 300 of these or something?
I don't know the build
Can't
number on
remember.
this. Yeah, 301.
Yeah. I read the description the other night. It was converted later, like 10 or 15 years after the truck was built, was when the Sultan had it converted into this. I don't know what to call it. It's like a hunting wagon, kind of. It's got like a big bench seat, but it's enclosed all the way back.
Do we call it like a limo of some sort?
As I
Bench in the
recall,
back.
he had a lot of things converted for like falcon hunting and stuff. So it's something like that. It's got like a pop top on it and it's got like extra seats in the back. Normally they have like a little pickup truck bed on it. And this
It's
is
the
like,
most peculiar, almost like a little living room in the back. It's
Totally.
It's 3 bench seats all pointing into the middle, like as though
there's a little salon in the
like,
back.
yeah, salon is the best way to describe it. It's like if you were an important person and you need to have meetings on the go, but they hadn't invented the Sprinter van with the
Yes.
executive suite put into it.
Right.
This was it.
Also,
Especially if you
imagine
weren't
climbing
roads.
back there. You have to climb through all the other
yeah,
seats.
Yeah, all these executives are just getting in, climbing between the rear seats
Yep.
in order to sit back there.
What do you got, Tyler? What's on your list that we've missed? Beck, you had a lot of the same stuff as me.
Yeah, you guys got a lot of really neat high-end stuff. I kind of went a little bit in the other direction.
Good.
We've got this live right now, this 1994 Speedster, which is like,
Oh yes,
hey,
I saw
believe it or not,
Oh.
a driver quality.
Good. Those
Speedster?
are, they almost always have like 1,900 miles and no one drove them.
This one's got like it's under 50,000 miles, I want to say, but the car's kind of photographed in a storage facility of some kind. I mean, it's not that kind of Graham Rahal presentation.
The photos are driver quality too.
But that's the car that you could get if you want a speedster and you like to really drive, you can get in this one and do so.
I love it. Cocoa Mats. I completely missed this.
It's kind of
Do you like these cars, Beck?
I'm okay with them.
You like 89 Speedsters better or 964s?
Gosh, it's so split in here.
I like the 964 better.
Because mechanically speaking, other than some turbo suspension bits, motor, powertrain, they're identical to the standard NA cars. And if you're going to get a cabrio, then absolutely, probably the Speedster is the way to go, right? But if you're, I don't know, you get the wide body out of it, which is nice, but you don't really start getting a mechanically different car until the 997s.
But I don't like those as much.
I agree.
The newer ones are hunchbacky looking a little bit.
Yeah, they don't have the clamshell. These other ones don't have that same weird proportion for
and the top is cool on these.
The top,
when it's up, it looks good with the top up, which is rare for a cabriolet.
Raised windshield, small windows. It's just kind of it's just something a little bit different.
Speedster windshields are important. I know that the top is important for this car, but at the same time, we don't have, I'm going to nitpick a little more, a photo in the listing that has the top down. Your lead image of a cabrio should always be, I would argue, top down, because you're selling the opportunity, not the asset. And then you would have one photo in line that would have top up to just demonstrate that it does in fact work, or at least closes. And it's tough to see that. There's photos in the gallery of the top going down, which is good.
They actually have thorough photos of the top going up and down.
They do, but I don't think they've got
You want that hero shot with the top down.
You want a hero shot with the top down, which I don't think they have. This is the case of, they're putting this car on BAT. We're not going to put roadblocks in their way, but at the same time, would be really nice. I think it would help with presentation a little bit. But
I think that's kind of what I like about it. It's I mean, I consider these to be special, kind of higher end cars, and it's treated the way it's a car. It's treated the way you would treat any other 964.
Alaska title. Did you see that?
That was interesting. Yeah,
Alaska plates.
What that is.
Wow.
It's not there anymore. It's in Vegas. But man, cool. That's a good shout out, Tyler.
Very good. Also, pricing wise, what's nice is that these 964s go for crazy money now, and with that kind of miles, like you can actually get a Speedster for what maybe coupe pricing would be, which is really awesome.
Wow.
Well, 964s are out of control. That's actually
I have a dream of a business where you just buy C4 964s with Tiptronics and just convert them into rear-wheel drive manuals and make lots of imaginary profit.
Well,
those have all been bought for Singer. Those have all been bought for Singer projects.
You don't even put in that kind of money. All you do is just manual swap and rear-wheel drive.
Well, the 964 is the rarest of 911s because Porsche was in a terrible financial position at that point. They were not doing very well. That's why they built
aged very nicely, though.
They were always my favorite, and they were unloved for a long time, and they were really cheap.
When I learned about the mechanical mistakes they made in designing the motor, I just couldn't stand these cars early on. They had all issues with the lack of head gaskets.
It's not a wonderful quality era for the interiors and stuff either.
Right. But much like the 996, it's one of those things where over time, these owners have fixed all these issues.
Correct.
And
the mid-years too, like my 912 were also considered terrible cars, the 74s to 77s.
And you got to get over the mistakes they would have made when they were new, and all these things have been fixed now. And I completely agree. They've grown on me massively. Because they seem like such more modern experience. It fixes a lot of the issues that, say, like one of the 80s cars, when you get in, in a Carrera, like it feels much more vintage than it actually is. Whereas a 964 is a huge leap just in appearances and comfort. And it's something that I would love to experience at some point. But to your point, they're incredibly, I would argue, overpriced. But they're very
They're aesthetically very pleasing to me and always were, because to me, even though the 993 technically is the same shell, the 993 looks like a different car.
Yes.
The 964 to me is the last one that looks like a 64 911.
It's all in the headlamps, right?
Vertical headlamps. And also in the 80s, roof had cleaned up the end caps so that the 964 still looks a little bit like a roof modified 80s 911, right? I love them. I've always liked them. But yes, they have all these problems. And for a long time, that meant they were really cheap.
Really
and then,
cheap.
then that also has a knock-on effect of people didn't maintain them for a long time.
Correct.
So there were a lot of kind of crappy ones.
Oh, these things, we were selling them, in the 20s sometimes back in 2018. But you'd get underside photos and there would be like the caked on oil because it's just been...
And the front air dam is always bent in the middle of the front. Good stuff.
The other car, just because I feel like we went heavy European on those. This one had bid to last week, just a really wonderfully spec'd car, a 66 Corvette, coupe, L72, 427, 425 horsepower.
Paging Beck's dad.
Realistically, like 450 horse in the 66s. I believe notoriously made more than the 435 horse claimed in 67. 4-speed, but the real kicker is it's in Mo Sport green. So all that in a Mo Sport green coupe with side pipes, with gold line tires, with turbine knockoffs. What is the interior on this?
I'm pulling this up stats.
It's like a dark green vinyl with like really nice green seat. I mean, it's just a fantastically classy spec for this car.
I know this is a little bit too early. I think there's a few years later, but I feel like if you buy this car, they should just give you your astronaut wings. That's just how good looking.
Sorry, you said it's a 66?
Yes. It's in Canada, owned for 20 years. I don't know. The Mo Sport green has just become one of my favorite colors on the planet for 60s Chevrolets, trucks or Corvettes, possibly Camaros. I'm not sure. I think maybe I've seen one. But this specific spec, the 425 horse with the 4-speed in Mo Sport green, I mean, this is kind of the one.
It's kind of everything there.
Yeah, this would be the one.
Man, this is a great car.
Knockoff wheels. What's the lot number on that one?
Lot number is, and this is fun to say, 222055.
Well done. Side pipes. Man, that's good. Only other one I'll mention since we were talking 964s, did you guys see the super low mileage 964 Turbo 3.6, which is like one of the most desirable Porsches and also very rare, like the Bad Boys car, but it's slate gray and low miles. The bidding is already at $765,000.
Oh, yes.
Incredible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, that car is nuts. I don't love the red piping on the seats, but I mean, to find a car of this spec and this condition is like, this is the one if you want the collector grade of the 3.6 turbo. And I believe this is the rarest of all the turbos, of like normal production turbos that aren't like special edition.
Right. The
3.6 964.
The power kit.
Yep.
The slate gray is so interesting because it looks so modern.
It does it because so many cars are in this color now. Yeah.
Correct. And to the point in which you're thinking like, oh, this must be
a repaint or something.
Right.
Yeah.
This is like every Audi in 2015.
Totally.
Right, exactly.
Or
Yes.
Porsches
And
have all these
991s.
matte
Yes.
color, not matte, but non-metallic colors.
Correct.
But Porsche always had these kind of
Yeah,
non-metallic
it was an
colors.
optional
Yeah.
thing. It's just they just were incredibly rare.
Ahead of its time. It would have looked weird running around in the 90s.
350 horsepower. Talking about cars that make good horsepower for their age.
Yeah, big old turbo.
Don't you
94?
don't forget Will Smith. It's one of the fastest production cars of all time. 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, baby, or whatever he says, opening scene of Bad Boys. God, it's a good car. That's a really good one. Oh, one other very quick shout out that I think is worth pointing out. I don't know if either of you guys will care about this one, but this appeals to my kind of eccentric taste in cars. The 1953 Cheese Italia prototype. Did you guys see this? You guys probably didn't even see this.
Goodness.
It's in premium. I think that's how you say it.
Oh, okay.
How would you pronounce that? My dad always said.
I'm just
Yes,
misunderstanding.
I think it's
I had
Cheese
this-
Italia. I think that's how you say
I
it.
had never heard of this car before in my life, but it was so beautiful when I saw it.
Yes, and it's a weird prototype. It's got a flat head in it. It's such a cool car.
How do you describe that front grille? It's got
What is it? A
these
flathead?
vertical chrome slats.
It's
there it
almost
is.
like a Curtis or like
Yes.
an early Corvette front grille, but then
it's
the
a 53 Corvette grill.
but then
there
the
it is.
front bumper
54.
splits it
It's
across.
all right in the middle. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got an interestingly weird Italian/American look to it.
Yep. If you're familiar with Ghia's like
mhm.
coach build, it's a Ghia design body. Not like Ghia did design the Carmen Ghia, but they're the dual Ghia or any of the custom bodied Ghia cars. It
It's
has
got a
kind of
little-
some of the similar look to it.
Almost like a DB4 rear end.
If you read the comments on it, which are interesting, a lot of people are kind of guessing what it influenced because 53 is early for this, right? And you can see a lot of influence of later 50s cars.
Mhm.
I mean, this is like a show car basically, right? And show cars often are showing whatever the cutting edge trends are that then show up in production cars. And you can see a lot of influences from later cars in the profile, in the front end, in the rear end styling. It's just a super interesting car. I mean, it has what looks like a 40 Ford steering wheel on it. It's got a Mercury flathead in it.
Oh, that wooden book photo in the listing is
I mean,
so
it has really cool historical photos. It has an interesting history of where it ended up and where it was fixed
Fantastic,
up.
listing too. This is a really fun read.
super in depth.
I would just recommend anyone read this.
pretty,
This is really
pretty
cool.
confident this was written by Cecily. I think we can safely give her a shout out. This is a really, really good listing and a really interesting car. And this is the stuff, I promise the last thing I'll say about all this. This is the stuff that makes me love to work at BAT is cars like
Sure.
this. Didn't know about it. A lot of important history wrapped up in a listing like this. And I'm now following it. And I'm very curious to see where it lands.
I
Yeah.
just added it to my watch list.
It'll actually end on the day that
On the day this goes live.
Goes
Cool.
live.
Yep. It's called I think I'm saying Cheese Italia right, but however you say the manufacturer, it's an 808XF. So weird designation. It's a kind of a one-off prototype. Has a little bit of Comet in it. You know, the Ford Comet that was a French Comet, the French word for comet that has a little V860 in it, flathead. And have you ever seen one of those? We've sold a couple of those.
I've not heard of it.
It has a little bit of that in it. I mean, there's a lot of mid-50s sports car that you can see in this design. Anyway, love it.
Great pull.
What else, guys? Any other parting shots here? We BS'd for an hour and 6 minutes.
Us? No, I don't know about that. We can never find anything to talk about, you guys.
I will once again actually promise the Fast and Furious pod. That's coming. Beck, you're in, right?
100%.
Okay, great.
Be looking at the BAT calendar. I'm sure we're going to start at some point announcing what our events will be for 2026.
Pretty soon.
Hopefully one in January. I don't want to promise anything. I'm not part of that team.
We've got a couple penciled in for early in the year.
Sweet.
A big one certainly in February.
Got
Nice.
it. So be watching the calendar. That's where we're going to announce all those things.
Absolutely.
I'll say Rex, if you haven't seen it already, Jason Camisa just published his 50-year anniversary video on the Porsche Turbo.
Oh, cool.
He has one example of every single car. It's a 40-minute watch, but if you like that stuff, totally enjoyable.
All the way up to the 992?
Up to the 992 with
Wow.
the new one, which is a hybrid now, and they talk about all the sort of generational progress. But Patrick Long is in it, and they go all around the country. They go to Pikes Peak. Jeff Swartz in it as well. It's a good watch.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to check that out for sure. Early turbos are really doing it
Correct.
for me recently.
There's a lot of heavy 75 turbo driving action in the
Non-intercooled, those are the
great.
ones.
Yes.
You can listen to this podcast. You can listen to Magnus Walker extemporize on why the non-intercooled 3-liter turbos are the move and not the 3.3 intercooled turbos.
Bill Noon has a 75 turbo live on the site right now.
That car, that's another one worth
That's
talking
another great
about
car.
too. Yeah.
Oh, I love those.
Slowly turning this
incredible.
into a
I stopped by
Porsche
Matt
podcast.
Crandall's shop on the way
Oh,
across the
nice.
country, and he had a Euro 3.3 turbo white with the black turbo graphics down the side. It's so good. He also had, I don't think I'm blowing up his spot, he had his personal 993 twin turbo, which he let me take a little spin in with rear wheel drive conversion and 575 horsepower. And
Oh
it
my
was
God.
a hoot to drive that car.
What?
Like it's pretty rare. I had just driven this Ferrari across the country, but you get in a car and you step on it once and you're laughing out loud. It's pretty rare that you get cars like that. He's
That's
like, yeah,
amazing.
it's pretty good, isn't it? I said, it is. It is good, Matt.
Speaking of good cars, Alex, too, I suppose the whole world might have seen it by now, is your Wall Street Journal.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
there it is.
My little
I've not talked
cord
about that
thing.
yet.
Oh, yeah. We
with-
haven't talked
with
about
one
that.
of the coolest pictures I've ever seen of you. You're not that cool in real life.
No,
what the
definitely not.
picture shows.
That's a shout out to David, our pro photographer, who made me and in particular my father look like a badass. I mean, my dad is kind of a badass,
You guys
but
both look badass.
It looks like you're driving around in your Accord to pick up the rent.
totally, totally. He did such a good job. And there's a couple, I don't think there's any in the article, but my son, Enzo, my 5-year-old son, was with us for most of that day too. The photographer rode around
Oh,
for a
fun.
whole day with us in that car while we were on a drive.
and AJ Bain wrote.
Yeah, shout out to
I haven't
AJ.
read it yet. You still have to let me read it.
Yeah, I embarrassingly bought a couple of the hard copies of the paper. So I'll bring one of those in so people can read it. But really fun day hanging out with the photographer. And then what a treat to work with AJ, former guest of this podcast. Great guy, author of the book that Ford versus Ferrari is based on. But Go Like Hell is the actual name of it. And then also Arsenal of Democracy, about the building of Willow Run to build B-24 Liberators by the Ford family and then turned into a car factory after that. That is one of my favorite books I've read in the last 10 years. So great author. And this is his column in the Wall Street Journal, and a real treat to do it. Really, really fun. And obviously my dad thrilled, Cord stuff. And it was just a fun day in general, driving around with a bunch of old Cords. In some ways, more impressive that car lasted 150 miles on a drive and the Ferrari making it 2,000 miles.
Well, how many years are in difference between that Accord and the Ferrari?
Cord is a 36, so it is going to be 90 years old next year. And
incredible.
the Ferrari is almost 50 years old, so 40 years of difference.
Wow.
And the
You can
difference
feel
between 36 and 78 is considerably more than the difference between 78
now,
and today.
sure.
Although, to be fair, the Cord was pretty advanced for its day. It's got a 4-speed
True.
and hydraulic brakes, and I've driven it a
very
lot.
different 36 cars you could be in and feel very
Totally. Driving around in a 36 Ford with a
Sure.
solid front end and stuff, you'd be bouncing around. You actually probably wouldn't want to do the drive that I did in most cars from 1936.
I mean, think about the difference from 1936, just back 20 years to 1916,
Oh.
and like the assembly line
Totally.
Model T. I mean,
Totally.
that is insane.
Particularly in wartime, this happens, but when technology advances really quick, I mean, think about an airplane at the beginning of World War II and only 6 years later at the end of World War II where there's jets, just incredible rapid change of technology. And for cars, that interwar period, right? The difference between a 1918 and a 1939 is pretty significant.
That's amazing. I mean, you've got a 40-year difference between two cars that you own. Some people don't even have a 40-year-old car to begin with.
I thought maybe it was with you guys or with somebody else. We were talking about what's the oldest car. I was asking Randy that. What's the oldest car you guys have driven? How far back does that go?
28 Model A.
Okay, you've got older than me. That's good.
It was an experience.
Yeah.
A very slow experience, but
Was it unmodified? It wasn't a hot rod?
It was modified in the sense that it didn't quite have a floor and maybe some other metal parts.
But it was still like an unsynchroed 3-speed and all that.
Yeah, no, it was a legit 3-speed. Yeah. I assume it was a V8, but I'm not positive.
No, those are 4 cylinders.
It is a 4, okay.
Model A's are 4 cylinders.
Yeah, okay.
The 32 Ford, the Deuce, is the first.
That would have been
That's
the V8.
the flathead.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but it was a
Actually,
roadster. It was a
the
roadster
first half
pickup.
of 32 is still 4-cylinder. It's still it's a 200 cubic or 201 cubic inch flathead 4-cylinder in Model A's, and then for the first 6 months of the 32, and then the V8 comes out, the flathead.
This definitely felt like a 4-cylinder. Now that I recall, but yeah, it was a roadster pickup, which is just a fun package, and it's one that I would like to. I would like to
totally.
do that again.
Old cars are freaking fun, man. My favorite thing about the Ferrari is that, I loved the GT3, I loved my NSX, but I felt like a poser, especially in the GT3, right? Like older is better. I just like it.
Yeah, until you have to start maintaining them.
Ugh, don't remind me of that. What's the oldest car you've driven?
I'm embarrassed. I mean, you guys have me crushed. I think it's a 64 356.
That's still pretty. That's pretty old.
Sure,
that's
but
pretty old.
nothing like what
I mean,
done.
you couldn't take many young people and put them in that and have them feel comfortable with it, right?
Yeah.
Disc brakes. We still need to get our drum brake rally going. You've never owned a car with drum brakes, have you? Certainly not front drums.
Not front drums. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say my Tahoe has back drums.
No, 4-wheel drums. 4-wheel drums. That's our rally, the drum brake rally.
I got a bike with drum brakes.
Good.
I'll take
Little
that.
tiny ones, probably. Yeah. All right, boys. Thank you. What a treat. As always, thanks to all of you for listening, and we will catch you next time.